Greetings, everyone. So I'm in the kitchen today and I'm doing some fermenting. So I had just realized as I started chopping up some vegetables that I had not showed you guys the turnout from the cucumbers into dill pickles. And I swear since then I've probably done at least 2 or 3 batches since then. So maybe toward the end of the video I'll show you guys, the what the pickles turned out, how they turn out, and what they look like, how crunchy they are, so on and so forth. But right now I'm just chopping up some vegetables. I haven't fermented in a while, vegetables anyway. So I think what I'm going to do today, I'm doing a sauerkraut, like a apple and onion sauerkraut. Very basic, very simple, easy to make. I also have some other vegetables. I'm going to ferment some garlic. I'm going to ferment, I think I'm going to make a salsa, fermented salsa. I have some tomatoes that I want to use up, so I think I'm going to just go ahead and ferment those. And that should only take a couple days. It doesn't, the tomatoes being that they're, soft and they're a fruit, they don't take long to ferment like the vegetables do. You would have to wait a few weeks or whatever. But have some onions, I have some cauliflower, some red peppers, just various vegetables that I'm going to go ahead and mix together and ferment. Continuing to zero in on the gut health aspect. Our gut health is very, very important for our health and wellness. So with fermentation, of course, that introduces those good healthy probiotics, the good bacteria into the gut. So it not only helps with digestion, but it helps with our whole overall immunity. So, when our gut is healthy, we are healthy. So, so that's all I'm doing today, just putzing around in the kitchen and just, in here chopping and dicing and getting my fermentation on. So, all right, be back. Okay, so here are the ingredients that I'm using. Very basic, very simple sauerkraut recipe. This is just a probably about maybe a half of a cabbage head, not a large cabbage head, just a regular cabbage head, probably about half of it, and I just sliced it up. An apple. So I have a gala apple. You can use whatever type of apple you choose. I like the gala apples. They turn out pretty well. Red onion, you can use white onion, whatever have you. I'm using what I have on hand today, so I didn't really, run to the store to get any type of specific ingredients. So I'm using what I have on hand. And then also there's going to be some fennel seed that goes in here. Probably about a teaspoon of fennel. So I'm going to put everything in a bowl, add the salt, let it sit for a little while, mix it up, pack it into the jar, and then we'll see. Now, and I'll also show you a nice little trick in case you don't have something to weigh down your ingredients, because we know when we ferment, everything needs to be submerged underneath the liquid in order for it to properly ferment, to avoid, mold and fungus and things of that nature. Alrighty, be right back. Alrighty, so this has been sitting for about 15-20 minutes. And what we're looking for is, one second with one hand, that. So we're looking for it to release the juices from the ingredients, from the cabbage, from the apples, and from the onions. So in the meantime, what I've been doing is I've been over here making the second ferment that I'm working on, and another very simple ferment. I'm going to ferment some carrots with some ginger root and some dill. I'm going to do it in 2 different methods. So I've already started packing this jar. So I've cut some up in just little sticks, and then I've grated and shredded some. And the reason why I'm doing that is because this one will be more like a side dish, if you will, to add to a plate or even to a salad. And then these will be more like a snack. So once these ferment, then these will be like, just a quick little snack. So I'm going to finish filling the jar up and, get those started. And these will actually also have the brine. All right, so I've packed the sauerkraut into the flip top jar here. And if you notice, so of course the liquid did not it didn't produce enough liquid to, you know, come to the top here. But what I am going to do is I'm going to use this, and this is a rolling pin. I don't have one of those ferment mashers, if you will. But so I'm using this. I'm going to mash it down. I'm going to create as much liquid as I can for mashing it, and then I'm just going to use a little bit of the brine to, you know, to bring the liquid to the top. So this is what it looks like after I've used the masher to pack it down and to, you know, get as much liquid as I could out of it. So I added a little bit more of the saltwater brine so that it brings it up to the top of the cabbage and the ingredients. So I am going to add a little bit more brine, but after I show you, you know, how to keep the ingredients submerged if you don't have like weights. So what I did is I kept some a few of the cabbage leaves from where I you know, when I chopped up the cabbage. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer those in here, but I'm going to do it in such a way that it is holding and keeping the ingredients submerged. So I'm going to add a couple of these, just, and you know, you can see what I'm doing. You kind of get the gist of it. And then I'm going to add more of the brine water to cover the cabbage. So here we are with my salsa ingredients, and this is the last ferment that I'm making today. So I have some tomatoes, some cilantro, some garlic, green peppers, red onions, and the juice of 1 lime. And then what I also did is I took some of the tomatoes and zipped them in the bullet. So there you have it. This is the salsa. I didn't do any weighing down or anything like that because salsas ferment fairly quickly. So this will only be going for like 2 or 3 days probably before it's ready. I don't think I've ever gone past 3 days with the salsa. But again, it depends on, you know, how warm your environment is or whatever have you. But what we'll look for in here is to start seeing the bubbles. We'll start looking for, you know, the bubbles to start rising. But when you don't use a weight, you know, as long as you're stirring or agitating, as long as you're not giving the bad bacteria or any type of growth any opportunity to grow, then, you know, you're fine, especially for a quick ferment. Now, something longer like this, you guys didn't see me do this one, but I did this one. Just some vegetables that I had, some broccoli, cauliflower, red peppers, onions, some Brussels sprouts I had cut in quarters, some herbs. I had some thyme, some dill, some oregano. And this will go, of course, this one will probably go for, you know, 2 or 3 weeks. Again, depending on, you know, how quickly it starts to ferment. But this one will, you know, I have the self-burping lid on that, so I won't really have to do much with that as far as checking on it. We had the sauerkraut here, the apple and onion sauerkraut. We had the carrot and dill and ginger. This one was the grated one. And then we had the sticks. I also did the carrot, dill, and ginger with the carrot sticks instead. So again, guys, you know, so when we think about fermentation, this may not look like a lot, but it really truly is, because when we talk about fermented foods, we're only talking about consuming very small amounts in order to get the benefit. So like salsa, now historically, this is really hard to only eat, you know, a few tablespoons of at a time or whatever. So, you know, the salsa usually goes quickly, but you know, vegetables, you know, you take a few, just like, you know, a little bit that you would put on the side of your plate, just to get the benefits of that, those probiotics. And same thing here, we're talking minute amounts. We're talking about, you know, a couple tablespoons at a time, just to get the benefit of the ferment. So it doesn't look like a lot, but actually it really is. So that's it, guys. Oh, I'm also going to show you the pickles. I'll be right back. Okay, so here is the jar of, well, my most recent jar of pickles since I did the video. And I just wanted to show y'all, you know, they are pickles. You can still see all the herbs and spices in there, and you know the bay leaves and everything. So, but here I have one, and it is a pickle. It looks like a pickle. So, and just so they're very crunchy. So it is a pickle, and it is crunchy. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but that's a dill pickle. I say.